Boom, watch fam! What is up, watch fam, and welcome to episode 86 of Ask TNH. I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and we will do a quick wristwatch check before we jump into the question for today. So today I'm wearing a killer Omega Seamaster powered by a bumper movement. It's got the gorgeous gold indexes and what I call a chubby case. I don't think it's called the chubby case. I don't think it was called, but it has this kind of like these fat lugs, these fat straight lugs. I think it's a totally beautiful watch. Let's jump into today's question. Okay, so today I'll be answering a question about Rolex, about my 3 favorite current Rolex production models. So I'm not going to do this with no regard for any sort of rules. What I'm kind of going to do here is my 3 favorite watches, which actually are probably my 3 favorite watches, but also watches that do complement each other. I have taken a couple of sacrifices with color configurations and stuff like that to give you guys a more well-balanced, I think 3 that complement each other a little bit better than just 3 random watches that, all kind of clash. So my first pick here today is actually the lowest in price. It's the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 39 millimeters with the with the Oyster case, with the Oyster bracelet in gray with a gray dial, which I think is beautiful for a couple different reasons. I think aesthetically that gray sunburst dial does a lot for me. I think it does a lot more for me than certain GMT masters sometimes. And don't get me wrong, the GMT, I love it. I mean, it's more expensive and all that, but that sunburst dial to me is really, I think it's just beautiful. I think it brings a lot of value for the dollar, which we'll get into in a second. Second, I love those blue indexes at the hour markers right outside. They're not imposing. They would never clash with an outfit or a look because it's just a small touch of color, but I think that it really does complement the entire watch and give it a little bit more, I don't know, kind of life and a little bit more fun. Not finally, but one more note. I love how versatile, not just versatile in design, but versatile in functionality. Let's put it that way. It is. I love that it really is the perfect watch, whether you're just going to be hanging out in a t-shirt and jeans and just kicking back, or even with a sweater or with a suit. It really does go the full range. So although with a price at $5,700, which is super low for any Rolex, although it is low, it packs a lot of versatile punch. That's why that watch made it to my top 3 of my favorite Rolexes in the current production model. The second Rolex I'm going to go ahead and choose is an absolutely gaudy watch. I'm going to, obviously because it is Rolex, go in another sporty direction, but I'm going to do it in a kind of a weird way and choose the rose gold Daytona with the pink dial and the black subdials, kind of like floating subdials. I love this watch. Why? Because it's gaudy. I think it's because it's gaudy and it's sporty. I feel like it does that casual kind of robustness, hardness really well. I do like precious metal sports watches. I think that they are an oxymoron, but an oxymoron that I do enjoy for some reason. And although I love Datejust and Day-Dates in yellow and pink gold, and I've made that very clear in the past, they still are obvious to their style, right? Those watches look right in the precious metal because they're dress watches. But when you do the pink gold or your yellow gold in a sporty watch like a Submariner or a GMT, or in this case a Daytona, I feel like there's just a bit of this almost like a joke about it. There's kind of like a funny air. It's definitely a watch that you can wear douchily, so I recommend you do not wear it douchily. Do it in a kind of a humble, casual fashion. But I still do think that it beats out, in my opinion, the Yachtmaster, the gold Day-Dates, the gold Datejusts, basically all other gold watches. And quite frankly, that Everose, the Rolex Everose color is totally gorgeous. I wore it one time. I tried it on and I really fell in love with the copper tone in it and how it just really is very, not dull, but deep, as opposed to just this bright yellow. So that is another thing I do enjoy. Fine. So at this point, we have the casual, versatile, everyday kind of watch. We have the statement, occasional, kind of out of left field, statement watch. And now, lastly, we have to end with a dress watch, which people really don't associate Rolex with beyond the Datejust and the Day-Date, which, although our dress watches aren't dressy enough in many ways, now we're going to go with the Cellini, with the Cellini Date. So I really do love this watch. I think that there are some flaws to it, but we'll start off with what I do like. I love the gaudy dial. Although it looks super dramatic in photos and it looks super dramatic in the window, you know, in the front window, it really isn't. You know, if you see it in person, it kind of is subdued. It really does have just a beautiful detailing as opposed to this like harsh, you know, I don't know, kind of brutal cuts that you see in the photos. I'm going to choose it in white gold, in 18 karat white gold, with either the black or the blue dial. I think I'm going to go with the blue. I love the off-center date all the way on the right there. I just think it's really pretty. Overall, the watch at 39 millimeters especially, because you know they really didn't go over the top. They didn't go 40 or 41. I think that they showed a lot of restraint at 39. So at 39 millimeters, a dress watch from Rolex, which is very historic, with guilloche, I think it is an automatic winding watch. I do think it's, I wouldn't say a value prop at $17,000, but it is, you know, it is a cool watch, and I think that it deserves a little bit more play than it gets. My biggest hedge on it is the case back. They should have made an exhibition case back, a sapphire case back, where you could see the movement. I really don't like two things. One, they put a solid case back, and two, that they hide the solid case back on the internet. I had to find a photo from, I don't know, from Monochrome or something like that. So I kind of think that that's a little bit of a dishonest or kind of odd move. At 17 grand from Rolex in a dress watch, I do think you should be getting a little bit more action on the movement. But apart from that, I do like it. So, I mean, those are my three picks. Like I said, it's very constrained to current production models. There are other Rolexes that I prefer to these watches, but currently produced in the Rolex, you know, lineup, these are my favorites. I'd say my biggest honorable mention here, the one that didn't make the cut, is the white gold GMT Master with the Pepsi bezel. I think that watch is you know, two things. One, subdued and just kind of under the radar for a gold watch, for a precious metal watch. And number two, it is a great attempt to modernize a classic in the Pepsi bezel, but I won't go further into that watch. So those are my, you know, three picks that I think that could serve everybody really, really well if they had to go with three production modern Rolexes. But don't do that if you're going to build a collection. That's my best advice. Thank you guys for watching episode 86, I was going to say 36, 86 of Ask TNH. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We all love Rolex, but definitely have it in moderation. Apart from that, check out our shop at theoharris.com, link below.